Hello, you join me inside a top secret prototype vehicle, which is a Hyundai i20 N. Now, you'll have heard of the i30 N, a hot hatchback. This is an i20 variant, which means smaller but fast, which is pretty much my favourite kind of vehicle. Small, light, compact, the right amount of power, the right size, a manual gearbox. So it is, what is it? It's a super mini, it's front wheel drive. It had a 1.6 turbocharged engine in the front, driving through a proper mechanical limited slip differential to the front wheels. It makes 204 metric horsepower. What's that, about 200, just over 200 brake, isn't it? So this is a car that's 0 to 60 in about 6 and a bit seconds. And it will rival, one would imagine, Ford Fiesta ST, Peugeot 208 GTI, Renault Clio, of which the Fiesta is far and away my favourite. And the reason it is because it does what this car has just done through there, as if you tuck it in on the brakes, it involves all four wheels in the cornering process, gets really involved. This does the same thing. Hyundai's taken its N brand really seriously, is making proper drivers' cars, and this genuinely is one. I've driven it a bit on the road. I think it's probably a little bit more softly damped than a Fiesta, and that's not a bad thing necessarily, especially on the road. But on a track, it still retains real poise and agility. It's got a really lovely, natural feeling steering rack. Just as you turn off, the weight builds really nicely. It gives you something to lean against. That diff really just hooks up, pulls it out. There's no awful torque steer or anything like that. It just hooks up and keeps pulling, and it keeps the rear engaged in the cornering line. This is a really good car, really good car. So I'm told that it is about sort of 95% done chassis wise. We won't see the finished thing until some point next year, but I'll tell you what, if this is anything to go on, if you just drove it as it was, this car is pushing on towards the top of the class already. I think it's a really good thing, and another really exciting development following the i30 N, and also from Kia, the Stinger. You know, we're talking about a car group that is going places and is really serious about challenging the best drivers' cars that Europe has to offer. I think this is really one of them. I'm really enjoying this.
A pretty short and sweet opportunity to drive the car then, so here are some more technical details. That 1.6 litre engine is from a new engine family, revs to 6,500 RPM and makes pretty much the same torque as it does power, just over 200 foot-pounds and brake horsepower, so it has a nice broad power delivery. There are different drive modes which affect the steering weight and the engine response, but the dampers don't change, so the ride and handling is just the ride and handling, and it's good. Hyundai's N engineers went to their bosses and requested no less than 12 parts on the body, where they'd like more welding and stiffening just for this car, a considerable expense and faff to add into the production line. But the gaffers said yes, so here we are. There are reinforced knuckles on the McPherson strut front suspension, there's an uprated torsion beam at the rear, and even a body stiffening brace that runs across the floor between the two rear wheel arches. The i20N gets 320mm front discs and wears 215/40 18-inch Pirelli P0 tyres. It is a proper piece of kit. Prices, on sale dates and whether the limited slip differential is standard or optional depends on where you live. For UK buyers, let's call it 20 grand, coming in the spring with a standard limited slip. I wish I could be more exact than that, but stay tuned and we will bring you a full review and group test as soon as we can. Subscribe and you won't miss it. Thanks for watching the channel. We'll see you soon.